Hello, everyone. My name is John Blackwood. I'm in North Texas. I'm talking to Dr. Steve Porter. He is in eastern Mississippi, and we are actually talking about health today. Steve and I have followed a very similar journey on carnivore, cleaner living, getting outside. I used to be 280 to about 300 pounds. I had heart conditions, eyeball conditions, and I've helped turn it around. We are here to talk to Steve today because he has journeyed into and hopefully out of Parkinson's disease, doing the same thing that all the rest of us did. You know, you went to the doctors, you listened to, the medicine and everything, and then you found your own way. So, Steve, please introduce yourself.
Great. Thank you, John. It's good to be here today. I'm Steve Porter, Dr. Steve Porter. I'm a dentist from Columbus, Mississippi. Um, and I have Parkinson's disease. Everybody says, well, when were you diagnosed? And that's a tricky thing. So I'll just sort of kind of start at the very beginning if I can figure out. There's really 3 points. Um, there's when I was diagnosed is there was a definite date. When I had my worst symptoms and low point is another day. And when it actually started is really, really, really what I've been trying to figure out for 2 years, 3 years. Because for, I guess since 2017, 16, maybe before that, um, something just felt different inside my body. There were no tremors or anything like that, but something felt foggy, like spider webs. I started slowing down. Um, even people said, "Are you okay?" And I just would shake it off and say, "I'm just getting old," you know. But I was
Hmm.
fairly athletic, and I was a runner, and I did all kinds of things. I never could get, I couldn't improve my time all of a sudden. I mean, I was on um, I was running more and running marathons, but I couldn't get my time kept getting worse the more I practiced. So something was just not right. Um, I also was under a lot of stress, and whether the stress was induced from environmental things or whether it was pre-Parkinson's, I don't know. But I saw a doctor, heart doctor, great guy. He assured me it was not my heart. Um, we did all kinds of tests, and um, I had always had chronic high blood pressure. Blood pressure medicine just made me feel bad. So I kind of went on and off of blood pressure medicine from time to time. Um, when I all this, let's see, we started. I guess that was in 17. Would that be 5? Yeah. Um, I started on an anti-anxiety medicine,
Okay.
and that worked for my anxiety, but it didn't really fix things. I was pretty. My wife will tell you, I was a walking zombie for a while,
Hmm.
for a good 5 years, and so I decided in 2021, yeah, to get off of the anxiety medications,
Hmm.
and I was feeling pretty good. Other than physically, mentally, I was feeling like, I can get off of these. They're working, but I think I'm past whatever was causing the anxiety. Um, so I did that, and then my Parkinson's symptoms started. My tremors started. Um, saw a neurologist. He thought it was essential tremors at first, so I took medication for that. Didn't really help. My tremors were activated by stress. If I was in a stressful situation, um, they would start up. Well, being a dentist, that's really tough because most of the time I was calm, but sometimes I wasn't, and I had to really focus on stopping my tremors. And if I had a drill in my hand, it was usually okay if you have any kind of weight or something like that. But it got to be very stressful, very hard. finally, in September of 2022, I think I had COVID. I never got diagnosed, but I had a very, very, very severe fever for about 3 days and
Hmm.
felt really, 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 really bad. Um, Never really came out of it. After that, my anxiety was had hit the roof. Of course, I was on no meds at the time for nothing. I couldn't sleep at night. Anyway, this was the low point. This was the second thing, second part before my diagnosis. But um, I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, lost a bunch of weight, which is I guess the only good thing. But it wasn't a good weight loss. Um, so that I saw a psychiatrist. I saw a neurologist. Finally got the neurologist. It took till November to get an appointment, but I was diagnosed with Parkinson's at that point.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So then I had the worst brain fog and the worst depression, and it was bad. I had a lot of things to sort out. I had two kids getting married, um, one, one in college, well, two in college, one in high school, and another in college. One was gonna be starting college the next year. Um, I had a dental practice to do something with. I knew I couldn't practice. I had to figure out, face the music, basically,
Hmm.
that I couldn't practice anymore. I had two dental partners in my practice that were really good about covering for me during that time and helping me figure out what to do.
Okay.
Um, I didn't want to lose my identity as a dentist, and that was who I was, and still is. That's who I am still. Thank God.
Right.
Um, but I had to figure all that out, and that was very stressful. And so, with the help of meds, um, psychologist, just research, just trying to figure things out. I got online, got on the Parkinson's Foundation websites, and just tried to figure out what to do, kind of on my own. And nothing really helped for a while until um, I sold my practice to my partners. That took a huge amount of stress off.
Hmm.
Started seeing the psychologist, we met weekly for a while because um, I really needed that support. Coming to the realization that we weren't going to die financially. Um,
Yeah.
that was huge. I mean, finances can be a huge stress for anybody.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So this time period that you're talking about is like what, age 51 to 59, from the anxiety
yeah,
all the way
yeah.
to today.
That's right. I'm
So
60 now, so yeah,
yeah, 50s.
yeah.
So that rough
So it's
decade. Yeah, the 40s
a
and 50s.
decade.
For anybody listening, the 40s and 50s are rough, man. I mean, even if you're totally healthy, because you're in the
Yeah,
sandwich generation.
yeah. And so,
Yeah.
and I was always dieting, trying to figure out. I mean, I was always trying to figure out. I was heavy, I was I guess at my max about 260,
About how tall are you?
5'9".
Okay. I don't know what that is in centimeters for anybody
Yeah,
not in the US.
yeah, that's right. I need to learn to convert all
Yeah.
that temperature and height and
Okay.
weight.
Yeah.
Anyway, I started crawling out of my hole. Thank God. Um,
Okay.
just everything seemed to sort of fall into place. I was able to sell the practice. We had a condominium in Florida we bought during right before the housing bubble in '08, and the value had shrunk way, way down. It was a money pit. We loved it, but it was just something we had to part with had
Hmm.
to, and so I had to figure that out. Fortunately, we were able to recoup basically what we paid for it. So that was good. That happened. I sold the practice. Then I was at a dental meeting, like a district dental meeting, and the dean of our dental school in Mississippi was he was a friend of mine. Um, and I went up to him and I just said, "Hey, is there something I can do at the school?" And he was like, "Man, I need you to come work." And to me, that was a big boost in my ego, my identity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I mean,
So
if you've been
this,
a hardworking man your entire life, at least in the West, and especially in the South, because I'm from Arkansas, you're from Mississippi, and I think it's definitely a Southern Protestant thing that, your what you do for money really becomes your identity.
it
And
does.
maybe that's a man thing, maybe that's a cultural thing with us in the South, but oh, yeah. So you're helping out teaching at Ole Miss or Mississippi
Yeah,
State?
it's well, I hate to say Ole Miss, but it's the University of Mississippi Medical Center.
Okay, at
It's
Oxford?
it's not in Oxford. No, it's in our capital city. All the medical, allied health and medical stuff. So
Okay.
um, Oxford's just about as far away as Jackson is as our capital. So it's a 2.5 hour drive.
Okay.
And at the time, um, when I approached the dean about the job, or he talked to me about it, I was not even getting in a car. I was terrified to get in a car, or a plane or anything. There was something about, I, I've never been claustrophobic before, but it was just really a very high anxiety situation. But um, I worked it out. Somehow I worked it out. And I was never a podcast listener or a audiobooks listener.
Hmm.
I did like music, and that was fine. But I used several different podcasts really to get in the car and get comfortable and drive, be able to drive. It's a 2.5 hour drive. Um, First, I started going down the night before, spending the night at my sister. She lives in Jackson,
Hmm.
so I would spend the night there, and that was kind of stressful to me in itself. So I learned to just drive down in the morning and drive back in the afternoon and listen to podcasts. And so I started listening to stuff and um, getting some new ideas about Parkinson's, and then I started researching, and I started intermittent fasting a little bit.
Hmm.
This is before I met um, the Carnivore Academy at all, but it helped, and I lost weight. Well, I had gained once I got the sleep back. I gained all the weight back within 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So I wanted to try intermittent fasting. I wanted to try um, a higher protein
Okay.
diet. So um,
So
I
we're
needed
talking
that
about 2021 to basically today,
to
essentially,
today.
is
Yeah,
Parkinson's and depression, and you had to sell your practice, and then you had to old contact the dean of, Ole Miss, and then you found the carnivore lifestyle, you found Carnivore Academy, and here you are today. That I mean, we're
yeah,
talking about 36 months here.
yeah. So that was October. I started teaching at the school in August of 23. I mean 20. Yeah, 23. And then
Okay.
at October of 24 or September of 24, I guess a year later, is when I was just on Facebook,
Hmm.
and the Carnivore Academy had put up a post about autophagy and about healing.
Sure.
And I looked at it and I said, man, I've got to check this out. I've got to find out what this is all about.
Yeah, I started May of 23.
May of
Um,
23. So you were about 4 months ahead of me. Yeah.
right. And now I was a year ahead of you. And
Oh, 23. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
yep, middle of a divorce, the whole nine yards. Now I'm a solo father to my three girls, and I didn't have a choice. My heart walls were thick, and the cardio vascular doctor was really nice, and he said, "You're not going to have a heart attack. Your heart's just going to stop."
Yeah.
Just everything was just thickening up, like gel, and that's what happened to me. Okay, so
Yeah.
walk me through, just say, not the past year, but say the first 4 to 5 months of carnivore, seed oils, moving, fasting, and how your symptoms have slowly kind of not faded away. You still have them. But what is that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's only August, so what does the last 10 months look like? You've been on this for 10
It's
months
been
now.
a journey, and it's some days are bad, some days most days are good, and I think the more good days there are more good days now than there were at the beginning of it.
Okay.
Um, when you first start out, well, I think I started out with a 48-hour fast,
Hmm.
and the, I was used to intermittent fasting, so I kind of, but I felt good. I felt really good doing that fast. Um, and um, we talked about a lot of different things, like the rule of six, where you only have six ingredients, and um, staying away from seed oils,
Yeah.
how plants are bad, um, pretty much everything. Um, just it became a it was good to me. I don't know. We had Lord,
Oh, you're
give me a
right.
second. um, we started with the fast and then went into just really talk the rule of six, which is um, that sort of led into just eating beef only,
Hmm.
um, and then doing more fasts, doing longer fasts, experimenting with one meal a day, um, really getting in control of ketosis and learning about ketosis, learning about autophagy.
Right.
And
So if you had to compare your first week in Carnivore Academy, or what we now call the Genesis group, compared to today, like what symptoms were present then that are not here now, or that you have far less of?
the biggest thing is what's between my ears, like clarity.
Okay.
You know, now I'm just more aware of things now. Engaged with family, engaged with relationships, engaged with um, everybody.
Hmm.
Um, I want to, I want Parkinson's to be something that a tool that I mean, it's a disease, but I want to use that Parkinson's to help other people with Parkinson's. I've always been a helper, and I could, I guess since between October and now, it's not poor me anymore. It's like, what can I do to help and make this thing? I want it to go away, and some days are wonderful, um, and overall, nothing's gotten worse.
Okay.
And um, I could talk a little bit about medication too here because I've I was on meds for Parkinson's, the Cinemet or carbidopa, levodopa,
Hmm.
and it worked pretty good, but there's side effects, and um, I'm kind of a fighter. I want to fix myself by myself. I don't want a drug.
Hmm.
I was
Sure.
that way with any drug I ever took. Even the antidepressants, I was like, I really didn't want to take them. I really didn't want to. I wanted to fix this myself. And then finding out that that ketosis, instead of burning glucose, ketosis and autophagy, you're actually getting rid of bad cells in your body,
Hmm.
and just learning that it's not a quick fix, and that it just gave me hope. It gave me patience, um, to see this thing out. I'm
Yep.
only 10 months into it, and I'm not even, I'm really, I'm expecting good results in 3 or 4 years.
Oh yeah. And I mean, in
Yeah.
month 7, didn't you go on an international bicycle tour of like Greece or Italy or something?
I went to Albania, yeah, just
Okay.
right
Yeah.
above Greece.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that, I didn't think I could do it. Um, I had, and I did. And
Okay.
it was amazing. It was amazing.
And you would have never tried that a year prior.
I wouldn't even get in a car. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so I came a long, 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 long way.
There you go. In a very
Um,
short amount of time. Yeah, the same with
yeah,
me. The first 3 to 4 months is so exciting because you lose
yeah, it
50
is.
pounds. you
That
know.
was really nice. Buying new clothes, getting rid of the old stuff, and
Hmm.
yeah, it was great.
Oh, I still go to the thrift store. This is thrift store. This is $3, but you know,
That's all right. It's good.
well, that's absolutely wonderful. All right,
Yeah.
we've been talking for about 20 minutes. This is episode number one. Thank you for anybody that's actually watching this. One book that I can suggest that we all kind of read, I don't have an Amazon link or anything, but it's this book and Nutrition and Physical Degeneration, written by this guy named Dr. Price. He was a dentist, and this book was written about 100 years ago. And basically, he went around the world and he found all these tribes that didn't have the problems that we have. Now, of course, if the only tool you have is a hammer, all the problems look like a nail. So he saw the problems from a dental point of view, right? There's another
Yeah.
guy named Dr. Kenobi, Knobbe. Kind of sounds like Obi-Wan Kenobi. He wrote a very, very similar book in the 90s based on eyeballs. And I have macular degeneration. So I'm trying to reverse that, or I'm trying to pause it. And essentially, what Dr. Price and Dr. Kenobi discovered through thorough research is whenever we introduced seed oils into our diet, roughly in the 1920s and 1930s, magically, all these modern illnesses showed up, such as dementia, Parkinson's, macular degeneration, and we've been able to see the back of the eyeball since the 1850s. A German guy invented the way to do it, and yet practically unheard of. So, you can't point at one thing. I mean, obviously, we live in plastic, we sleep in plastic, we live off oil. Almost all of our food products are just sprayed and fertilized. But I know that through my own personal health journey, and I've got about another 30 pounds to lose. Once I really dropped the seed oils, alcohol, caffeine, I still drink coffee on occasion, but once I just sort of cut out all the modern conveniences, my world got way better. I can tell you my eyesight's better. I know my heart's better because when I went back to my cardiovascular guy a year later, it was a year into my carnivore journey, he took the scan, whatever it's called, and called me into his office, not into a room, like back to where his desk was, and almost like where you're sitting right now. And he just told me, and he just said, "What have you been doing?" I told him the whole truth. And his response was, he goes, "I would never tell you to do that, but it's worked. Your heart's totally fine. The walls have thinned out. It's pumping like normal. You're 120 over 80 in blood pressure." He said, "Don't ever come back." And I've never gone back. And
Amen.
so, you know, there's something about these seed oils, which I know the half life of a seed oil, I think, is 2 or 3 years. So if you really ate cleanly, it would take you about 7 to 9 years to even clean this stuff out of the body. And the origin of seed oils is, I think they were used in the war, meaning World War I and World War II. They were lubricants for tanks and mortars and, airplane wheels and stuff like that. And they changed the formula around a little bit and they called it Crisco. And they gave
Yeah.
it to us and they called it lard, right? But
Yeah.
I don't know where it is in the book, and I didn't prepare for this because it's episode number one. But I mean, all of our modern diseases just they track perfectly on the chart with the line of seed oils.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be one of our main messages. So, I mean, to sum this up, I know we're going to be talking to you a lot, and we're going to be talking to Dr. Highland and other people. Um, what are some of your last thoughts on this?
Well, I can tell you my blood pressure is okay now with no
Okay.
med. So, and I I totally agree with you on the seed oils completely. Um, my thoughts too. Plants survive by survival of the fittest, just like we do,
Sure.
and they have toxins to keep animals from eating them
Sure.
or to make an animal sick. And so, I mean, that's kind of a generalization. With, I mean, I'm not sure if that's all plants, but
Yeah,
a lot
I'm
of
not
this,
dead set against plants. Once again, I'm not a medical doctor. I have a degree in
yeah,
biology and never used it. I went into the
yeah,
military and currently I own a trash company. So I'm not on your
yeah,
level, Steve. But the way I look at it is go anywhere in nature. You grew up in the South hunting, I grew up hunting. Go to a tropical jungle. Go to the Amazon and
yeah,
try to eat off the jungle and tell me if you can do it. No,
right,
You'll
No,
you'll you'll
you'll
be
die.
find you'll be finding cockroaches, animals as fast as you can, and we know this because of the survival shows where they send people out for a week or two, and there's Naked and Afraid, and there's a couple of others, and they always the ones that go the 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever the time limit is, they always default to eating animals.
Yeah.
They don't have a choice. They find a stream, they start catching fishes with their hand, things of that nature. They'll find a bird's nest and steal all the eggs. All of those participants, they always default back to carnivore because no jungle is going to feed you. So the
No.
only reason we can eat plants in today's world is because we're so amazing at agriculture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All right.
Yeah.
Last thought, Steve. I'll leave it to you before we sign off.
Well, I think what I'm doing is working for me. I hope that it will help other people that listen with Parkinson's or other diseases too. I mean, it's not just Parkinson's, but primarily neurological things or health issues. But
Right.
yeah, and I look forward to talking some more. Um,
Yes. So
I'm
we'll end it
always
with this.
learning things too.
Steve is up for consults or coaching. He's kind of gotten to that part in his carnivore journey. If you want to go to the website, it's called genesis4pd.com. It's the number four. So it's just the number, not FOR. So it's genesis4pd.com. I'll put it in the description below. And you can hop on a call with Steve, or you can join the Genesis/Carnivore Academy. So, Dr. Steve Porter, really appreciate having you on, man. I want you to
Enjoyed it.
go back to the polls and the voting in your precinct in Mississippi today, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, John. You too.
See you.